Hey guys, it's John from Physical Living, and in this video I'm going to give you 5 different things that you can use exercise bands or resistance bands for. Which are these big, beefy rubber bands. They come in all shapes and sizes. As you can see, here's a nice, really big, thick one. Here's a really tiny one that I actually found in my office drawer. And you know, I've got all different sizes in between, so you'll see. A lot of these bands I've just bought over the years. Some of them came from rubberbandits.com, where they have pretty much every kind of band you would ever want. I've been using them for a long time now. I think they're a great product. So thank you to them for sending them to me for free, so I could do videos like this. I also got these smaller loop bands here from TNT Pro Series, another product they sent to me, and I think they're great too. I wish they had some thicker sizes. That's okay, I can forgive them for that. But I appreciate the companies that support my channel and make sure I can keep making cool videos like this with equipment. So what's first? What are some cool things you can do with these bands? So I think probably the most practical thing that you can use these bands for is to make certain exercises harder. And so there's a number of ways to do this, but like if you do deadlifts or squats, you can, and there's a lot of different ways you can configure the band, but just by putting the band up over your shoulders and beneath your feet, so it's making one big circle around you, as you squat down, the band is not as stretched. As you stand up, it's more stretched. And so you can have a barbell on your shoulders while you're doing this, folks. So you can make squats harder and make it so you have to really accelerate through the squat. Same thing with the deadlift. You probably want a narrower stance if you got wider shoulders like I do. And same thing with the deadlift bar. It's going to require that you accelerate the bar upward even more so than without it. So you can make a lot of exercises harder simply by adding a band that has to stretch. And if you have like a power rack, then you can attach the bands to the barbell, loop it around the sides like this and anchor it at the floor, so that as you're pulling it up away from the floor, the band is stretching and making the exercise hard. It's a great way to train acceleration and power. Same thing you can do with a lot of upper body exercises. So you can wrap it around your shoulders, and I mean you can do presses like this, like you would with a dumbbell, but you can do push-ups too. And same thing, you gotta press yourself up really fast in order to complete the exercise. And so that's probably the most useful, practical, or one of the most practical ways to use bands, is just to augment or enhance certain exercises for certain training goals. Another thing that you can use bands for is to make certain exercises easier. So very common use of an exercise band is to make it easier to perform pull-ups. So you just loop the band up around your bar, pull it down. I've got a video on this, I think, if you want to check it out for more details, but just to demonstrate it for you. And then you perform your pull-ups, and the band is supporting some of your weight, so it's an assisted pull-up. And so bands can be used to make exercises both easier and harder, and it's great. Another thing that you can use bands for is if you have just one well-chosen band, like a medium-ish thickness band, which is relative for your strength and your body weight, but if you have a medium-ish sized band, a loop band like this, you can use it for a complete workout. You know, full body conditioning workout, fat loss workout. Is it, you know, the end-all be-all, the holy grail of fitness tools? No, it's not, folks. You're going to be much better off and get much better training and training stimulus if you have a well-equipped home gym with a variety of equipment, or you have a gym membership where they've got lots of options for you. But in a pinch, if you're traveling or you know, whatever, if you have just one medium thickness band, you can get a complete workout, a complete full body workout. So I'll just show you, I'll just demonstrate some of the exercises. So you can do, you don't need a barbell to do deadlifts with a band. You can do this sumo style deadlift here, and you can program it any way you want. You can do this in a circuit format. You can just do a really high rep burnout set, you know, you name it. The protocol doesn't matter. I already showed you some squats earlier, but there's different squat variations that you can do. You can do what's basically like a front squat here, like so. You can do overhead presses. You can do overhead squats. You can do upright rows and bent over rows. And if you have a place where you can anchor it, whether it's a pull-up bar or just anything. I've already got one anchored here. Just imagine I'm using the same band. You can anchor it here and do single arm rows or two-handed rows. You know, basically any exercise that you can do with a cable or a pulley machine, you can also do with bands, and you can do a lot more than just those exercises with bands. So you can get a complete full body workout with one exercise band. I mean, look how tiny this thing folds up into. I mean, you could fit that in your pocket in your cargo shorts if you had to. So great for a carry-on workout or whenever you're traveling or just other life situations we find ourselves in. So that's another thing not to be overlooked. And again, if you have a fully equipped gym, you're going to get much better training, obviously. So you don't necessarily want to believe everything that the resistance band companies tell you, because they do make some semi-outlandish claims. I'm not going to name names or point out specific examples, but that's something you can use resistance band for. Another cool thing that you can use resistance bands for is to provide a little bit of loading for certain joint mobility exercises. So for instance, you can do some basic shoulder and elbow mobility with the band. So here I have it anchored on a support. I'm not sure how well you can see that. I try to get in the camera frame. I just got a support beam. You know, you can wrap it around anything sturdy. If you're at home, you know, support beam like this, or you can get anchors. Like here's an anchor that you just stick. It'll close in a door, and you've got an anchor that you can use in a door. And you know, assuming you're not the Hulk, hopefully you won't rip out your whole door. But if you're at the gym, wrap it around any piece of equipment, squat rack, power rack, Smith machine, whatever. And then you just anchor it, and you can perform all kinds of joint mobility exercises. And there's many that you can do, and I'd recommend looking into them and getting your education before you start doing that. One of the benefits of the band specifically is that it provides traction. It's pulling my arm in this case towards the beam, and so that's creating space in some of these joints that allows nutrition to rush in there and do all the good stuff that we want it to do. So you can do stuff for your arms for joint mobility. Same thing with your legs. So I've got two bands wrapped together and anchored at another spot over here, and I've got them wrapped around this ankle weight thing that I don't really use for ankle weights. It's empty, but you can do the same thing. You just put a little bit of tension, and you can do the same thing. Basic mobility for your legs, for your hips. There's a lot of different options here, and again, you can look these up. There is information available for them. But it's a great way to get a little bit of a stronger stimulus, deeper release, and better range of motion at some of your joints. So that's another thing. You can improve your mobility with a set of bands. What else we got here? Let me show you these little ones. So I got these in my office drawer. These are just literally rubber bands. And one thing you can use these for is to train the extension of your fingers. So you just wrap them around your fingertips, around like that first knuckle in your thumb, and you just stretch them out and you train extension with your fingers like that. Kind of looks creepy, doesn't it? And you can buy little sets of bands for that purpose. It's training the extensors in your hands and fingers. And that's really important for pretty much anybody who types on a keyboard or smartphone too much, guilty as charged. Or if you do a lot of grip intensive work, if you do a lot of calisthenics like pull-ups or hangs, or heavy weightlifting, heavy deadlifting, or farmer walks where you're gripping a lot. You want to train the opposite of this squeeze. You want to train that extension of the hands and fingers so that you don't develop an imbalance. That's a great, simple way to help prevent things like carpal tunnel and elbow tendonitis. And there are many other ways to train finger extension too, but you can do it with bands if you want. It's a great tool for that. Okay, another thing. So how many is that? Is that like 4 or 5? I lost track. Good thing I'm not a personal trainer, right? So another thing you can do is train acceleration with some of these larger bands. So again, I've got it anchored at about waist level over there, And I'll show you right here. Normally I'd run that way, but I don't think it'll be good for the camera angle. But basically, you just run until it stretches. And I'm pausing. I don't normally pause like this. But as you can see, it's pulling me this way, and I have to root down. And so that's providing a stimulus, you know, just like accelerating for a sprint. So I don't have as much room as I'd normally like to do this. But you can train acceleration. You can train it forwards. You can train it backwards. You just have it basically at your hips, at your waist. Same thing. Train backwards. And you can pause if you want. Normally, I just do it quick like this. It's great for group training because people have a lot of fun with it. You can have your partner be your anchor instead of a support beam if you want. Do the same thing laterally. So hopefully I've got some kettlebells in here. Like sometimes this thing will slide on me, this workout mat. But that's another thing you can use them for. Acceleration training for sprints, which is another perk of using them. So full body workout, mobility, making exercises harder, making exercises easier, finger extension. I think I'm losing track. But anyways, that's a bunch of ideas for using these resistance bands. I think they're a great tool. Again, not the end all be all, not the holy grail, but really useful, and I enjoy using them. So I'm going to catch my breath. I don't even know why I'm out of breath. It's because I was talking while I'm doing this. So anyways, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and please let me know how you like the video. That thumbs up and that thumbs down, I check those. If I get a lot of thumbs up on a certain video, I'm going to make more like it. If I get a bunch of thumbs down, I'm not going to make videos like that. So please give me that feedback. That is very useful to me. I really appreciate that 5 seconds that you can take to click one of those buttons. And I really appreciate probably the 10 or 15 minutes that you took to watch this video. I can't believe people spend that much time listening to me blab on about this geek stuff. But I hope something I said was helpful. I hope that you apply something that you learned today and that it makes your life better. So I'm John Sifferman from physicalliving.com. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.